All right. Well, first of all, it's great to be back on the field. Exactly 150 days from our first and only spring practice. And, I started our meetings last night. Yesterday was report day, and I started our team meeting, really just thanking our players for their commitment and the way that they handled themselves the last 150 days. It's been a lot of challenges. And this group has really handled themselves in a first-class manner. And maybe sometimes when you come into a program there's a changeover in staff and those things, maybe you as a coach assume you're going to have a lot of player issues to deal with. And honestly, we've had zero player issues in the last 150 days. And so I'm just really proud of that group. And, before I get into my practice comments, I want to start off really by thanking a lot of the people that have allowed an opportunity like today to happen safely and over the last, again, 5 months, starting with Dr. Donna Peterson, who is the head here at the University of South Florida. She's in charge of our COVID response, and just her leadership and communication with Steve Walls, our director of sports medicine, Michael Kelly. I mean, it's been daily, just all the different calls and meetings that all of them have been. Yuri, all of our trainers, our strength coaches were out here literally 7 hours a day for 2 months because we had to split up our workouts into groups of 20. And there's just so many people that have dedicated a lot of time to find a way to keep our players and staff safe and have an opportunity to get back on the practice field. So I couldn't be more pleased. I think you learn a lot about the people around you when you face adversity. So with myself being a new coach coming in, I got 20 new coaches and families that have moved down to the Tampa area. I've learned a lot about the leadership here at our university, leadership in our athletic department, and leadership within our football program. And I just couldn't be more pleased. Over the last 2.5 months, we've done 514 tests with players, coaches, and staff. And we have 0 players that are out in quarantine due to a positive test or contact tracing, so really pleased with that. Over the 2.5-month period, we have had 24 positives. And there's been a protocol that these guys have followed, and our medical staff have done an excellent job with all of the testing. I also would be remiss not to mention USF Health. Having them in our backyard has been a huge asset and resource, and Dr. Corris has been over here daily looking at our procedures and being sure that we're doing everything we can to keep our young men and staff as safe as possible. I've had 2 players that have come to see me that have voluntarily decided to opt out due to some COVID-related concerns. John Waller, defensive lineman, and Jannard Phillips, wide receiver. And the biggest things that I told them is, number one, I support them 100%. This is a personal decision that each and every one of our young man players and coaches have to make. And each player and coach has different situations going on. So number one, I told them I support them. And number two, definitely told them that they're going to be able to remain on scholarship and in good standing with our team. I really like this team day one. There's definitely a little bit of rust with it being 150 days since we've been out there. But really what you look for as a coach is just the spirit of your team. And these guys were genuinely excited to get back out there on the field. I mean, I had to slow them down because y'all may have seen it. We were going walk through, and they were already ready to go to flex, and I had to tell them, to kind of slow down. And that's what you look for as a coach. You want to see if these guys are excited and engaged, and they have really bought in, and I'm just very hopeful that we'll be able to continue to find a safe and healthy way for these guys to continue practice and ultimately find a way to be able to play some games this fall. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions.
You said that, Jeff, that you were going to have open competition for every position, but you got no spring. Is that still the case for you? And at what point do you shut that off?
Yeah, I think the fact that we didn't have a spring does not change the fact that everything's an open competition. You know, I had a visit with our quarterbacks today, and I shared some previous experiences that I had with Deshaun Watson coming in January as a mid-year, and we had a veteran reserve in Cole Stout that had been there for 4 years waiting his turn, and Deshaun's a very talented freshman that came in. We went through entire spring practice with those guys competing. They had summer skills and drills, and then we went through fall camp. Those guys competed, and then it took the 4th game before Deshaun ended up winning the starting job. So I was telling our quarterbacks, if you think about that, you know, we didn't even have a spring practice. We weren't able to do the regular skills and drills. And so, you know, the biggest thing is really just for everybody to worry about, you know, developing themselves and getting the fundamentals and all those things down and letting it take care of itself. And I know it's a good problem to have. It's good to have 3 quarterbacks. We'll learn more about the freshmen. Those guys got here. But I honestly feel, as of today, and I didn't see anything at practice that would change my mind, that we have 3 quarterbacks that could lead our program to a successful season. And that's not always the case. So that's really good, but it also creates, you know, a lot of decisions. And, you know, the biggest comments that I gave those guys is, hey, we're going to have a great quarterback competition. We're not going to have a quarterback controversy. We're going to have a quarterback competition. And also after Deshaun, we had Trevor Lawrence came in. And then we had Kelly Bryant, been there, started the year before. It went the same way. Came in mid-year, it went through all spring practice, all skills and drills in the summer, all fall camp, and then Trevor won the game won the job after the 4th game. So those are 2 potential NFL Hall of Famers, and it took them 4 games in for us to be able to figure that out. So you know, right now there'll be plenty of time for that, and ultimately the character of those 3 guys will make it a true quarterback competition and nothing more than that.
You said that you prefer 1 quarterback, but if nobody got the job, just as you sort of indicated, you'd be happy going in with a couple. Would you be happy using 3 quarterbacks in a game? Or is that too many?
Do we win the game or lose the game?
Well,
yeah, so, you know, I'm hopeful. Obviously, we have no idea what the season's going to look like in front of us, you know, but, you know, for me, the same thing I told them, if everything stays on schedule, October 3rd, I believe, we play at Cincinnati, that would be a great time to know who our quarterback is. And hopefully we get an opportunity to play some games before that and let guys get experience. And that's probably more realistic. And the other thing I told our guys is this is not going to be one of those situations where it's ding, 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 here's the winner, everybody else go sit down. I mean, this is going to be one of those years. On Friday morning, we might find out that number 1 and 2 are out, and 3, let's go, you're the starter, right? So we're going to need all of those guys as the season goes. So, you know, really just looking at it as a marathon and just taking it day by day. But all 3 of those guys look really good today, in short. So I was really pleased with that.
So you'd like to have it though settled by October 3rd, some way or another?
That would be an ideal situation. Yes, sir.
Since Quentin Flowers left this program a couple years ago, there have been 5 quarterbacks that have played significant time. You add in 2 newcomers here that haven't seen the field just yet. How important is it to stabilize that position, you know, going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the biggest thing is you want to get consistent play out of your quarterbacks. Whatever that looks like, you know, I don't know. You know, each of the 3 guys, the veteran guys that have all had experience, they've all started at some level in college. You know, they've shown that they can be successful. And one good thing is they all have different skill sets. They bring something different to the table. So it may be a situation where you can play multiple guys, but we are so far away from that. You know, I feel like I'm talking about a whole year from now just because of really everything. Our mindset really is day by day. I told our guys this morning, appreciate today. I said for the last 5 months, you know, I wish somebody would have come up to me the first day of spring practice and said, Coach, enjoy it because this is the only practice you're going to get for 5 months. So that's what I told our guys today. I said, hey, it could end tomorrow. It could end in December. Let's just enjoy every single day and have no regrets. And that's really kind of where our mindset is with the quarterback situation and many other competitions.
Jeff, how confident are you that y'all will be playing a game on September 5th?
Yeah, I'm confident, but that's just because I'm a positive thinker, just naturally, right? And you know, what I've learned, kind of like we tell our players, everybody has a role, right? That left tackle, do your job, right? That quarterback, do your job. That wideout, do your job. Well, my job as the head coach is to get our players ready so that whenever Michael Kelly and the leadership and everybody says, here's our games, we're going to go play, we're going to be ready. And if for some reason they get delayed or we don't, then hey, we'll adjust from that. But that's really the mindset that I've taken is just to really get our guys ready. And I've told, because of course you can imagine what all of them are thinking. They're seeing everything. They have their own questions. So I've really tried to get them just to stay focused on what we're doing here and now. And you know, our mindset's been, hey, anytime, anybody, anywhere, whatever it is, let's go play. And one thing I will share with you is kind of funny last night with all the talk about the schedule. At the very end of my talk, I kind of gave the State of the Union address to the team. It was about 9 o'clock, we were finishing up, and I told the guys, I said, all right, I got a big announcement, all y'all been asking. All right, I've got our schedule, our final schedule for this year. Y'all ready to see it? Well, they all, you know, half of them woke up right there, right? And I clicked the button, it had all our dates, and it had USF logo right there next to every one of those dates, right? And the mentality is we play ourselves, you know, 12 times a year, right? We play ourselves. It's not about who you play, WHO, it's about how you play, HOW. And when you keep that internal focus, then you don't worry, you don't play up or down, right? I dealt with that at Clemson, the famous Clemsoning deal and all that before Coach Sweeney took over. You know, we would, you know, beat number 2 Florida State and then lose to a 2-10 team the next week or something. And it wasn't consistent because we were worried about our opponent. Coach Sweeney did a great job of getting our staff and players to realize it's not about the opponent, it's about ourselves. And so let's worry about us. We play ourselves. If we don't beat ourselves, right, we got an opportunity to win no matter who we play. That's our mindset. So I was trying to make the point to the team, hey, don't worry about all that. Leave that for Michael Kelly and everybody to figure out. We'll let you know when we know. But at the end of the day, it's not going to matter. They're going to put 11 guys out there, and we're going to get an opportunity to go play football. So that's really kind of been our message to our guys.
Jeff, I know you won't break out pads for a couple of days. Just what's kind of the focus for you guys these first couple practices?
Learning how to practice, learning how to get on and off the field, learning how to flex the right way, learning how to turn and chase the football, just creating championship habits. That's really been the number one focus. The X's and O's, those aren't as important right now as learning, again, how we do what we do. It's not what we do, it's how we do it, right? And so that's really what our focus is right now, and getting great effort, guys turning and chasing the ball. And then if we can get that and let that be our standard, you know, then we're going to have a chance to have the success we'd like to have.
Jeff, can you talk about your staff and how it grew together during the down period?
Yeah, it's I've been really proud of our staff. And again, you know, I told our players none of us had any idea in December or January, but I do feel like our staff got a good head start because my first 2 official staff meetings with the team was over Zoom. And that was because I was in Clemson getting ready for the bowl game, and all of them were here. So maybe that was a little foreshadowing of what we had to do. But the guys have been excellent, and really the big focus of our staff has not been about the footballs or breaking games down or anything. It's about how can we support our players during this time. I mean, I can't think of another time in the last 15 or 20 years that our guys have had so many different things kind of thrown at them. And so it was really important for us as a new staff to really develop those relationships, to build that trust and respect with our guys. So our coaching staff has done a great job with that. And, you know, I mean, really everybody has the mindset that there's really not anything you could tell me or our staff that will faze anybody. You know, we just smile and say, all right, let's go do this. And that's really been this staff's mindset, and I think it's carried over to our players.
Jeff, there's been a lot of player movement to try and get more control of the situation. Pac-12, Big Ten, UCLA had 30 players at UCLA went to the administration, and in the Mountain West system. If that happened on your team, if players came to you and said, look, we want more of this, how do you feel about those movements, and how would you handle it?
So we've had some great meetings. Our leadership council is called the Bull Council, and it's made up of 16 of our leaders that include at least 1 or 2 players from each position group. And so we had a really good meeting with them earlier this week on Monday, just giving me an opportunity to kind of listen to them and also give me an opportunity to kind of share some thoughts with them. And then also we spent a good time last night in our team meeting talking about that. I'll get to your exact answer you want, but I do have to share one story. I told them where all of this came from with the name, image, likeness, which I definitely look forward to, those things happening for our players, getting more opportunities. But I told them where it really came up was in maybe 2014 when NCAA football no longer was produced. And then that's really what got all this going. So I told the guys, I said, I got to tell you my NCAA football story. So back in like 2002, 2003, right, it came out, I'm a walk-on receiver at Clemson, and it comes out, and all the players, like 20 guys, are going to come over to my house that night, and we're going to play the game. That was the first year, either 2001, 2002, I believe, that you could actually build your own player. So I wasn't on the game, but I got it before they got there, so I built myself on there. Like 99 speed, size, all this stuff. So we get in there, we start playing the game, and they start looking at each other like, man, Jeff, you're on this game. All right, well, you're pretty fast. And you kind of go check, and it's like 99s, and they kind of figure it out, right? But that's really, that's what I think about when I think of kind of the start of where we are. I think we're making a lot of progress there. My message to our guys is, number one, I'm here to help serve you guys, support you guys, and get you as much as that we can. To be able to help you. One thing that we did was with cost of attendance. In the past, we had not looked into giving cost of attendance in the summer. And whenever I got here and found that out, and I talked to Michael Kelly, administration, they decided to do that for all the student athletes in January. So our guys got maybe an extra $1,000 this summer just for that. So I think our players know that I support them, and this is, all the things that are going on. It's not, players versus coaches or anything like that. My message to the guys is, man, the platform that you guys have as being part of a team, you're going to get an opportunity after every practice to get in front of the media. And you're going to get an opportunity to share any thoughts that you may have after games, after practices. And my goal is for us to be able to accomplish a lot of things together, right? United from start to finish, really took on a lot more meaning that we really need to stay together during this time. And I think when you have so much going on, and there's different ideas and thoughts. I think for our team, it was like, how can we make some positive changes, but do it within the confines of the team? And ultimately, that's for them understanding that myself and our coaches support them and will continue to work to try to help them in some areas. And I think there are going to be some good things coming from all the conversations that have been had recently.
So you're trying to stay ahead of the curve, is basically what you're saying.
So I'm trying to stay ahead of the curve. And really, more importantly, I'm trying to learn from our players. And so anytime something comes up, my guys are getting tired of me messaging them, hey, Bull Council meeting tomorrow morning. Let's get together and talk. And again, just trying to learn and hear from these guys and be able to communicate. And they've done a really good job. I think they feel confident in where we are right now as a team. And there's going to be some other things with the social justice that our team will be doing moving forward that they feel really passionate about, that we support as a coaching staff and administration. And I'll wait for those guys to have an opportunity to present that before we go into any more detail.
Jeff, if circumstances required you guys to play in the spring, what's your thoughts on playing in the spring?
Yeah, so I'll give the canned answer is we want to play, right? And we want to play as soon as we can play safely and healthy and keep everybody healthy. That's when we want to play. And we're optimistic and hopeful that we'll be able, that things are in place and we'll continue to progress where we would be able to do that in the fall. And then if something happened where it's no longer safe for our guys to go out and play in the fall, then at that time we would readjust our mindset and push to be able to do it safely in the spring. But ultimately, and I asked our guys, I said, hey, do y'all want to play? I just want to make sure it's just me as a first-year coach all excited. They said, no, Coach, we want to play. But obviously they have concerns and they want to be educated on all the protocols. But I think we've been very fortunate, again, with USF Health in our backyard to really be able to stay on top of all the things going on and let our guys know that we're going to do everything we can to keep them healthy and safe.
If you played in the spring, though, wouldn't that threaten the 2021 season? I mean, that's a lot of football. If you play games in the spring and then now you got to get ready to go again in the fall, wouldn't that be pretty tough?
I'm sure that somebody could figure it out. I'm sure potentially it would be modified number of games or something like that. So to be honest, I haven't spent a whole lot of time thinking about that. It's really been kind of what's in front of us right now. And, you know, as a coach, it's like if that ever were to change and we were not able to play in the fall, then you immediately would start looking at all the potential. But again, it kind of goes back to me knowing my role and understanding my role. And right now my role is to support our players, keep them safe and healthy, and, you know, help them get better every day in everything they do.
I know you've got one day of practice under your belt, but are there any transfers, newcomers starting to hop on your radar early today?
I have 2 practices under my belt. One's March the 10th, and one here. Right, I'm counting both of them. You know, yeah, it's good. It was a lot of things going on. There was guys that made some plays. You know, as far as newcomers, you know, Mitchell Brinkman is a tight end that came and joined us this spring. He made a really nice catch in one of the pass skill sessions. Latrell Williams, young man that sat out last year, had a really good day today. There's guys that flashed all over the place. You know, I really like our freshman class. We got some, number one, first-class young men, and number two, some good players that we're going to be able to you know, build as we go with that 2020 class.
Hey, Coach, I know you said the players were excited to be out there. You having a second practice, but first in the fall. I mean, what was your mindset stepping out on the field? Was it Christmas morning? Was it relief? Was it apprehension?
So I set my alarm for 5 a.m. and I woke up at 4 a.m. and I was hoping when I looked over it would say 5 a.m. and it said 4 a.m. And I literally just got up and went and took a shower and got, I mean, it's just, you know, just so many things going on. And yes, you are excited. To me, usually I'm excited the first day of practice because I get to see our players and kind of evaluate, because we don't get to see them throw balls and catch and do all that stuff. But to be honest, after everything that our young men and coaches and players have been through in the last 150 days, I was excited just to see the smile on their face, to see them with a helmet on and over there having fun. Like that, to me, was more important than any of the X and O's and execution and all that, just to see the guys, because it's tough. I mean, they've been behind that computer screen for a long time, and you know, these guys have played ball since they were 5 years old, so it's been very challenging for them. So just to see them smile. The only other person that was as happy as them was my daughter Savannah. She got to go to gymnastics yesterday for the first time since Clemson. So she was fired up last night. When I got home, I had to watch all the videos. And so, I mean, it was kind of very similar feeling, seeing these guys be able to get back after a long time.
Coach, talking to other players and coaches around Tampa Bay, they talk about the need for kind of over-communicating over these unique times in a certain way. Does that kind of help you a little bit as you try to assimilate not just yourself or your staff, whether it be the walk with KJ? I mean, you got to learn these players as young men. Rather than players, sometimes that can help a little more, correct? Yeah, absolutely. There's been a lot of guys that have helped support our players and our coaching staff. I know Thaddeus Bullard's been great for me. I've texted with him a lot. He's going to come over and talk to our team, I believe, Friday this coming week. And there have been, I mean, there's a lot of strong leaders and organizations here in this Tampa Bay community, and it has not felt like we're doing it by ourselves. I know as a part of the Unity Walk that KJ was able to get started, there was several personnel from the Tampa Bay Lightning that were there, some of their upper management, and to be able to see them there, that was just kind of, for me, being able to see the community coming together, and something that makes this area so special.
Hey Jeff, have you and your staff considered cross-training position groups or other sides of the ball, you know, for depth purposes, if God forbid, like one position group has an outbreak?
Yep. We've talked about that a little bit. Really, where we are right now is we have 110 players that are practicing, so almost 4 at every position. And maybe in a typical fall camp, you would only work your first 2 groups and a little bit of your third group. And really, as a coaching staff, we decided from the very first practice, we're going to rep all 4 groups and get all 4 guys ready. Now, it's not the same amount of reps, but we're going to be more intentional about trying to have 4 deep. And then, you know, as things happen and we get shorter at some positions, I mean, we are talking right now about some guys that could fill some other places, but really with the first day, you want to get kind of 1 week in before you start cross-training some guys. But I think you would probably cross-train a safety at corner or a corner at safety or maybe a wideout at running back or vice versa first before you would get into the defense and offense, just because there are so many things that have to be taught. But we are keeping that on our radar, and as I'm kind of evaluating the athleticism, I'm kind of keeping a little list, but it's nothing that we've, you know, done with our guys quite yet.